Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this HP ZBook 15V G5. Alright, so this one has a broken charging port. As you can see, the charge port looks like that. It has those little pins in the middle that are all just hanging loose. This is what the charge port should look like. Okay, so as you can see, it should have that plastic in the middle. And yeah, so anyways, we're going to take all the screws out. These are JAS1 screws, and you want to keep them in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that is I put them flat side down like that on my desk in the pattern I remove them. So we got 4 here, and then we got 3 going along the front. All right. Again, you don't want to mix them up because the screws are different size, shape, and length, and even if they look very similar, sometimes they're different enough that it can cause some problems. All right. So let's continue removing all the screws. If this video helps you out, please make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. If you can't, it'd be very helpful if you could watch a few of my other videos and like and comment on them, because that's what YouTube likes to see. And as of now, it's getting harder and harder to make money from YouTube, so it'd be very nice if you can help out with that. All right, anyways, we're gonna go ahead and remove this USB device they have for a mouse. Set that aside. Okay, once you get all the screws out, we're gonna have to pop this bottom cover off. The easiest way I find to do this, oh, they have a little keyboard cover. Let me set that aside. So the easiest way I found to do this, which is why I always leave my fingernails long like this, is I'll get my fingernails in the gap here, and then I'll push on the palm rest. Don't push on the touchpad, just the palm rest, and I'll pull just like that. All right. You can see how easy it is to pop this out. All right. And you can see now we have this gap here. So now that we got that gap, we're gonna close the laptop. Okay, we still have that gap, so I'm gonna get in there with my fingernails, and then while I'm pulling on it, I'm gonna slide my fingernail across the side gap here. Okay, just like this, and it looks like that already popped, but there is a clip internally in there, so it's still holding. All right, we're gonna go and do the same thing here. Again, I'm pushing down on the palm rest here like that, and pulling up with my other fingernails, and it actually already popped up just by pulling on it. Okay, so this clip is a little bit difficult to remove. It's probably going to take a little wiggling and some extra elbow grease or force. So there we go. I kind of just wiggled it, like pulled it like that, and then it was able to come out. We're going to flip this back over, and let's go ahead and wiggle that to get it off. And there's the bottom cover, completely removed. All right, so I couldn't find an exact like looking charge port, but this one is the closest I could find. As you can see on this one, the black part, let me zoom in a bit. You can see the black part has the metal pieces coming out to the sides here, but this one has a black piece covering that, and then it has the metal pieces coming down as well. It looks like all the pins line up, so as long as there's nothing else weird with it, it should be good. Hopefully the pins are the same size and not different. Okay, anyways, let's go ahead and zoom out. We're going to start taking this thing apart to remove the DC jack charge port. We are going to have to remove the entire motherboard or logic board, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is remove the battery here. Again, using the JAS1 screwdriver, we're going to remove all the screws. And actually, I forgot, let me take a, we'll use this as a thumbnail. So it's a little bit off here, so let me pull it down. And okay, so this should be a good thumbnail. I did clean this out in advance, so the fans are a lot cleaner. They used to be very dusty, so I brushed this with a toothbrush, and then I used a powerful electric blower to blow the dust out. I did hold this down so the fans don't just spin freely, because if you spin it too fast, sometimes stuff can fly in and break the propellers, and also sometimes electricity can flow back the other way. I've never had an issue with spinning the fans really fast causing that issue, but it's always a good idea to kind of hold it just to prevent it from doing it too much. Like, it's fine if there's a little, but you don't want to just spin it nonstop. All right, anyways, let's go ahead and remove the battery. So the battery model number is right here, SR03XL. I will pull that out and give you a close-up look once I get these screws out. Okay, so let's go ahead and get all these screws out. It looks like there's only 3 of them, so let's get the 3 screws. All right, once you get those 3 screws, we're just going to pull this straight up. Okay, you kind of need to get a grip from somewhere, but there you go. You kind of rotate it up. Then you can grab over here and slide this out. And here you go. There's the battery, SR03XL. Okay, it's a little bit dusty underneath, so I'm going to clean that off a little bit as well. But yeah, it's not really, can't really get all the dust off. It kind of sticks to it, but there we go. A lot better now. Okay, this battery is a little bit inflated, but for the most part, it seems okay. So we're just going to set the battery aside as well. Okay, here you can see all these connectors underneath. Lots of stuff we need to disconnect, so I'm going to have to, I guess, zoom in here to show you guys. All right, and some of these are labeled, some aren't, so hopefully I can figure out what's going on. You have an M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD here, one screw. These are pretty easy to remove. Just undo the screw, and then once you get the screw out, it pops up at an angle. You can go ahead and pull that out. All right, and to put it back, obviously you just put it back in at an angle and then lower this back down. There's a little raised edge. Make sure it's lined properly, that it's caught by that. Otherwise you might put the screw down into the SSD and damage it. Okay, so make sure it's in that area, locked down. Okay. All right, one other thing I'm going to do after removing the battery, we're going to carefully open up the laptop. All right, and we're going to press and hold the power button for at least 15 seconds. This drains any residual power and makes it a lot safer to work on, especially since we're going to be taking the entire motherboard out and disconnecting the LCD LVDS connector. This will actually help a lot. I've had some people where they don't do this and then they fry the backlight circuit, and you'll never have like a screen lit up ever again because of that, unless you can find somebody that can repair the motherboard damage or replace the motherboard. Okay, anyways, we got all these connectors down here, so hopefully you can tell where this is. That's where the battery was. This is the fingerprint reader connector, so we're gonna flip that latch up and then we're gonna pull this out. Okay, sometimes it's better if you can grab this little blue tab, you can pull that out. Also, if you accidentally peel this blue tab off, it's not going to be thick enough to get connected to the pins, so be very careful that you don't rip that. All right, we're going to flip this latch up, and then you can also pull here, but you want to be careful not to damage the cable. All right, we'll flip this latch up as well. Also, this cable, if you're wondering, is for the headphone jack, 3.5 millimeter auxiliary port there. All right, we flip that latch up. We're going to pull this out, wiggle it, and that's for the touchpad or trackpad. You can see it connects right there. We're going to leave these connectors connected because we're just focusing on removing the motherboard. You have the keyboard backlight connector here. Usually the keyboard backlight connector is this dark blackish brown. Sometimes it's like an orangey brown color. All right, once you flip that latch up, you can go ahead and pull this back, and yeah, the color scheme is usually how you know that it's the keyboard backlight. This is the keyboard connector. We'll flip this latch up, and then you do have to sometimes raise this cable up slightly to pull it back because the wings get caught on the raised, I don't know what color this is, cream or tan. All right, and then we'll just move that out of the way. You got 2 sticks of RAM here. All right, pull these 2 tabs to the side, it pops up, and then you can pull this out. This looks like aftermarket RAM, and the RAM here is DDR4, what is that, 2048 by 64. What's that? 16 gig. Okay, so there's a 16 gig stick. Sorry, I'm blind, and it's a 2666. So you should be okay with any 266 DDR4 RAM. So yeah, this is what they had in there. We'll just leave it there. Okay, you got all these cables under here. So we're probably going to have to disconnect. Oops, sorry. Probably going to have to disconnect from this side first because you don't want those getting yanked out. So there's this foam stuff on top. It looks like we're gonna just peel off the one that's stuck to the cable if we can. Oh, you can see it's just tearing that foam. That's kind of annoying. So let's see, can we peel this side? Okay, this side, the adhesive I can peel easier, so I'm gonna peel this one, and hopefully it doesn't tear the foam. And there we go. Okay, so now we're gonna flip this latch here, and then we're gonna go ahead and pull this cable out because most likely this cable is gonna come out with the motherboard. Same thing with this one. If you're wondering, this cable connects this entire board here, which plugs in this fan, as well as 2 USB ports and whatever else is here. I don't know if the power button is attached to that. I guess we'll find out Actually, no, we won't, because I'm not going to be taking that out. And yeah, the fan's here. We'll flip that latch and pull that out. Should I take it out? Maybe I should. It doesn't look like there's too many screws to remove. Okay, it looks like there's one here and one down here. So we'll remove those 2 screws and just lift that board up just to see. And then I'll put the thing back. All right. Assuming that's all that needs to be removed. So let's zoom out a bit and let's see, can we remove this board? Is something else holding it? Okay, it looks like we might have to remove this metal thing as well. This metal plate is for the, like a lock, if you're trying to lock your laptop to a desk or something. But there we go, and we'll take this metal plate off as well. Yeah, it was covering a little bit of it, so let's see, can we lift it out now? Yep. And okay, no, so the power button isn't part of this, but the hard drive LED is part of this board. It is a little dusty, and it looks like I was wrong. This wasn't the fan connector. This is actually the power button connector. So the power button does technically go to this, but it's its own separate board. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this back. Oops. Okay, get that in there. All right, and then let's get all these screws back in. And I guess technically we can leave the power button cable connected here. We didn't have to disconnect that one. Oops, I didn't want to, don't crush that cable under there, but it looks like there's a gap, so it's okay. All right, get those out, then we'll put this metal piece back into place, and we'll get these screws back in. All right, the longer one goes towards the front of the laptop, or the bottom, down here, and then there's a slightly shorter one that goes up here. I'm not 100% paying attention, so I just keep them in order on my desk so I know which one goes where. So yeah, all right, anyways, we're gonna get this power button cable back in. Again, it helps to use the little blue tab, line it up, push it in, and then while you're holding it, latch it back down. Okay, we're gonna have to remove all the fan screws and everything, so let's see. We also need to remove this, which is the SD card slot connector, so we'll flip that latch up, and then we'll pull this out. It looks like there's adhesive holding this down, so you want to be very careful removing this. I can probably get it better using this kind of tool because it's thinner and smaller. So we're going to get under there. Let me clean this off a little because it has some thermal paste from last time I used it on something. All right, so we're going to get it under there, and then we're going to kind of just wiggle this, and hopefully we can work our way under the adhesive. And you want to be careful. You don't want to just rip this out because otherwise you can damage this cable. Okay. So there you go, you can see we got that out, and we'll peel that away. I'm going to flip that latch back down so it's not sticking up, same with the other ones. All right, let's actually flip all the latches down because you don't want to accidentally like set it down on your table or desk and then it rips those off. Okay, all right, so we got all of that out. We got all these other connectors here that we're going to have to work on. I did get a message, so I'm going to have to check that real quick, but I'll be back. See you guys in a bit. All right, I'm back. Let's go ahead and continue removing this stuff. All right, we're gonna remove the fan connector here. So this has little wings. I just use my fingernails at the wings and kind of wiggle the connector. And as you wiggle it, it should walk its way out just like that. Keep in mind that if you're replacing the fan, you don't flip this cable upside down. You can see it's solid on top. If you have a new fan, sometimes it's upside down and you can see these gold pins. So for this specific model, you want the gold pins facing down. Okay, what else do we got to remove? The SSD is fine. Let's go ahead and peel this up. So this is the LCD LVDS connector here. Maybe actually I need to remove the SSD so I have a little more room to work. So let's go ahead and remove that screw and take that out. Okay, go. And then we'll pull this out. Set that aside. All right, so we're gonna peel this out now. So this you kind of want to work your way over. Like I kind of like rock the adhesive left right, or you can kind of use 2 hands and wiggle it like this. You want to be careful. It also helps to kind of roll it back instead of pulling it up because you don't want to put pressure on the connector to pull it out. All right, unless it's the type where you pop it out, but this kind looks like it slides back. There's little wings here. I use my fingernails to get there, and then I kind of just wiggle this connector as well and just keep working at it and wiggling it, and there we go. There's the LCD LVDS connector there. If you need, there is a model number there, which is that SPS, the spare part number, L25097-001, looks like. Okay. now we can go ahead and get these cables out. Okay, we're just moving them out of the way. And what else do we got? Okay, we gotta go over here. We got another fan connector, and then this is the speaker connector, the one that's red, white, blue looking. Okay, there's not really much room here. It's a little difficult to work on. And also you have the wireless card here. So the wireless card has this, I don't know why they put this tab on top, but let's go ahead and peel that off. Okay, we're going to set that aside. We'll try and put it back, but it might not stick. Okay, so they labeled this one for the white arrow 1, and then the other one has a black sticker 2 to the black arrow 2. All right, we're going to pull up on the tail to pop that out. All right, just like that. Same thing with the other one, just like that. Then we can go ahead and unroute these cables. You can see how it follows these little things. So you got to unroute those just like that, just like this, and unroute this all the way. Good. All right, then we got the wireless card. We're going to remove that as well. Okay, after you remove the screw, you can see it's like the SSD. It pops up at an angle, then you can kind of wiggle and pull it out. There is a sticker there with spare part numbers, so I'm going to peel that up and then show you that, assuming it doesn't get damaged. There you go. Okay, you can still see the sticker there. So L22634-005 if you want the same spare part replacement, and then you can also see the actual wireless model number there, which is what, 9560NGW. Okay, anyways, we'll set that aside. What else? We got to remove these two connectors. It's a little tricky because they're so close together, but same thing. You can either use your fingernails, you can use some tweezers or something, but you want to be careful not to scrape the motherboard. Okay, so we're going to wiggle the speaker connectors out here. There we go. And then the fan connector as well. Okay, just get in there, wiggle and pull. There we go. All right, so the fan connector obviously is attached to the fan, so we're going to unroute the speaker connector here, and now we have some room there to work. Okay, next, to get the rest of the motherboard out, let me actually zoom out so you can see all the screws at once here. You want to keep track of all the screws. There are little arrows that point to kind of where screws are, so you know where to put them back. But again, it helps a lot to put them in the pattern that you remove them, so that way you can know where to put it back. All right, so we got that one. Then we got two here over the Ethernet port area. Looks like it's holding down a metal plate as well, so make sure to keep that from rolling around the motherboard. Okay, so we'll take that metal plate out. You want to be very careful not to drop the metal stuff on here. Some people were telling me like I was using a metal scraping tool in some repairs, and they're like, you're gonna kill the computer, but everything you use to open it is pretty much metal, so it's more you just have to be careful. All right, so you got this screw down here under these cables. Okay, we'll get that one. What else? We got the fan has some screws, so remove those as well. Let's see if the fan is removable without removing everything else. Sometimes that's the case, but not always. All right, we got this other screw here. Okay, so the fan has two screws, and let's see, can it be removed? Oh, it can. So the fan you can replace without removing all the other stuff. You just have to open it up, disconnect the cable, and pop that out. And they also have a HP spare part number there as well, L25223-001. Okay, that's for the, this looks like the GPU fan. All right. And then maybe I'll keep the fan separate so it's easier to keep track of the screws here. Okay, so I'll put that there. Then we got the other fan here. I might as well remove that one as well. Looks like this also has just two screws holding it in place. Okay, so again, we'll remove the two screws. And then hopefully the fan just pops out as well, so that way we could, if anything, you could easily replace it. And it looks like it does. Just wiggle it a little, and there's the fan. So there's the spare part number there, SPS-L25224-001. That's the other fan. Okay, and I don't see a crazy amount of dust there, but there's a little bit, so we might as well kind of just brush it to clean it off. Be careful not to short anything out while doing this. Got the same thing with this as well. Usually toothbrush is okay. You can even brush the entire motherboard with it. But again, you want to make sure that you disconnected the battery and did that power drain thing. Okay, blowing the dust off of it. All right, so it looks good now. Let's go ahead and continue removing the screws for the motherboard. So we got another screw right here. Right, we got another one over here. Okay, what else? We got another one up here. All right, and I think that's all of them. Let's see. Nope, there's one here. Okay, don't be quick to yank the motherboard out. You want to go slow and you want to kind of wiggle it a little. Make sure nothing is stuck in place because it feels like this is kind of stuck. So we're probably going to have to like wiggle it. I have a feeling the design, it's a little bit stuck with those foam pads and stuff. You can see this is kind of stuck here. Are there screws holding the heatsink? I doubt it. Okay, so I think we got all the stuff we need to get out. We're gonna lift these cables out a little bit and we're gonna carefully pull under here. Okay, so this motherboard looks like you have to kind of lift it that way and then slide it out because the heatsink is somewhat going underneath there. So we're gonna carefully lift this. The only thing is some of these stick out a little bit and then go into the motherboard or into the frame of the laptop, it seems. Looks like there's another LED there. It looked a little weird because it was diagonal, but all right, we're gonna carefully wiggle this and it feels like it's caught here on something. I don't know what it is, but it definitely feels like it's caught on something. This has like a little foam pad, I think, or rubber pad that kind of sticks. So that could be part of it, but anyways, we're gonna kind of lift and wiggle this. And hopefully we can get this out. It's stuck pretty strong here. I hope I'm not going to have to remove the heat sinks first. But let's see. You can kind of wiggle this. It feels like it might be caught under there. Yeah, that's kind of strange that it's stuck there. I mean, these do seem to wiggle just fine. So it's not like it's caught on anything. And this kind of lifts up as well. Oh, okay, it's budged a little bit over here. So I'm kind of lifting this up as I'm kind of wiggling and pulling, and then this heatsink side kind of slid a little bit. Maybe let's remove this board and see if that gives a little more room to make it easier. 2 screws, let's get those out again. Alright, then we can go ahead. Oh yeah, I forgot we have to take that out as well. And I messed up. This one doesn't have different size screws. This one does. So this one has a longer screw here, and then there's a shorter screw there. Okay, sorry for, hopefully I didn't mess anybody up there. Get that metal piece, take it out. And then we'll take this out. Careful with that, wiggle it around, there we go. Okay, let's see, can we get this out now easily or no? Nope, still stuck on something. So kind of gotta wiggle this probably. I don't know, it feels like it's caught on something. Sometimes what they do is they hide screws underneath the heatsink here. I don't see anything like that going on. So I think it's more just the way it's seated on there. It's having some issues. See, this whole piece is kind of wiggling. So I don't know if there's some foam pad or something that's stuck to it, but definitely this side is having some issue. We're probably going to have to lift the middle up and then push this down to kind of flex it inwards. But I'm not 100% sure. What's holding this? Something's definitely caught here. So I'm gonna kind of wiggle this side and work on this side more because it feels like it's caught here somewhere. Come on. do I have to pull this aside somehow? It doesn't move much. I have a feeling I might have to take the heatsink out first. However they designed this, it seems like they made it so you can't do the whole thing at once. So let's go ahead and remove the heatsink here. And hopefully that's the case, because now I'm going to have to redo the thermal paste, which wasn't part of the original repair quote. So I don't know. I don't think, since the customer didn't agree to a price of doing this, then it's going to have to probably stay the original quote, even though it's ending up a lot more work than expected. All right, let's go ahead and remove this and that, and then remove, oh, there's one here. Okay, and we've got 2 more. There, and this one. All right, hopefully that's what's stopping it. So let's try and, usually when you get this, you want to like wiggle it sideways, okay, to release the heatsink thermal paste. You don't want to just pull straight up, because that can actually bend these thermal pipes. It's stronger this way because the bends are curved that way, okay? So we're just wiggling it like this. And then once you get enough, you can kind of get underneath and kind of pull it like that. There you go. And I guess let's lift from here. So it looks like this comes out now easily. Here you go. We're definitely gonna have to redo the thermal paste, not probably, sorry. Didn't mean to say that. All right, and let's see now if the motherboard comes out. Yeah, I think we had to remove the heatsink first. Okay, see, now we can kind of lift this side up. This is what I thought. And then it releases over here. And now that we release that, we can go ahead and pull this over. If you can somehow get it out without removing the heatsink, then I guess that's cool, but it wouldn't come out for me. So there we go. Here's what the inside of this looks like. Keyboard is held in place with melted plastic, so it's best to replace the entire palm rest assembly if you need to, if the keyboard's messed up, so keep that in mind. All right, I'm gonna move this out of the way. Okay, so here's the motherboard. We're gonna have to remove this. So in order to remove this is gonna be somewhat difficult. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna actually hold this with some pliers, and I'm gonna use a hot air station to heat this enough that hopefully once it's hot enough, this will just plop out. And then we gotta clean up the old what do you call, solder that's in there. And then once you do that, then we should be able to put the new one in. All right, so let me get my hot air soldering station set up over here, and I'll be back. See you guys in a bit. All right, so I'm back. Let's get this thing heating. And again, what we're gonna do is we're gonna be holding the thing up. Oh, this is gonna be tricky. I don't have enough desk space for this properly, but I'm gonna hold on to this, and I'm just gonna be heating this, okay, from this side. And once it's hot enough, the solder will melt enough that it will drop the motherboard away from the rest. Okay, so let me go ahead and get this going. So we're gonna grab that, and we're gonna hold this, okay, and we're just gonna heat this up. And I'm gonna hold it a little higher because I don't want it to drop on my desk. Let me actually, I'm gonna need like a cardboard or something for it to drop on, so give me a second, I'll be back. Alright, so I put it on top of a little cardboard box, and I'm gonna hold onto this, slightly lift it, and we're gonna heat this. And once it gets hot enough, it should separate on its own. Hopefully it's not gonna, I'm gonna heat the surrounding area a little bit as well, so all the heat isn't just concentrated in one area, and it has time to kind of warm, okay? We'll see. Sometimes these, it takes too much heat and it might not work, but we'll find out. Might need to use more air. Looks like it's melting slowly. Sorry, I know you can't really see, but I gotta do what I gotta do. Okay, it's melting to where it released the front. Come on, what about the back? There we go. All right, so we got the old one out. We're gonna turn the hot air off, and then I'm gonna use a soldering iron to do the rest. The other option is you can kind of heat it with the air and drop it in, but that's too risky because there are plastic bits on here. All right, and the plastic bits will probably melt. So I'm gonna wait till this thing cools down. We're gonna put this away, and we'll come back with a soldering iron and thing to clean this up. Usually I'll use the solder sucker, which I don't know if I'll be able to record. I'll try, but it needs to be hanging off the edge of my desk to do it so that I have room to suction it, or I have to like angle the motherboard sideways. I do have a thing that can hold it in place, so maybe I'll try that, but we'll see. All right, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, I'm back. So here you can see the two charge ports side by side, okay? So you can see how they differ a little bit, but the connections, where the pins go and everything look to be about the same. So it should be okay. All right, so there we go. You can see it's a little bit different, but yeah. All right, so the soldering iron is heating up. We are gonna try and pull the solder through this way, and then yeah, so we got this tool. This is a solder sucker, and we'll see if we can get the solder out and then begin the repair. Okay, so I'm gonna clean the soldering iron off a little bit here first. Okay, so it looks like there's still some flux there, so hopefully this solder will kind of stick to it and melt in, because that will make it a lot easier to repair. Okay, I'm gonna have to get more solder on there. It doesn't seem to want to stick well. Okay, let's see here. Doesn't seem to want to stick well. I don't know if I'm gonna have to use that heating from the outside method, but hopefully not. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna try and heat it and then suck the solder out. Oh, that didn't work. It's kind of filling the hole with the solder, so that's usually easier to pull the solder out when you do that. So let's continue. Yeah, the solder doesn't want to stick to it, so I don't know. Oh, it might be easier to do this off camera hanging over the edge of my desk, but let's see. I'm gonna try putting a little flux on there and see if we can use that. Yeah, because it's not good. It's a lot harder to work on it sideways like this, so I'm probably going to have to do this over the edge of my desk and not be able to record that, but let's see. Try a little bit more, okay? All right, so let's get that flux in there. And let's try and melt this again. It doesn't seem to want to melt. I'm going to try and melt this and then put some flux or solder in there. Okay, actually that's working. Okay, let's see if I can suction that out now. Okay, that worked. All right, let's do that for all the other three. I guess I have to put some extra solder, or not solder, extra flux there, because the old flux is kind of not good. Okay, so let's try and melt this tiny one. This one might be more difficult because it's so small, but hopefully it'll be okay. Okay, looks like it's working. Okay, use the solder sucker again. through. Oh, only a little bit of it came out. Let's try again. There we go. Most of it came out. Okay, let's do the other one. Let's try it without the extra flux. But I think it looks like it'll work. Okay. Okay, let's get the solder sucker ready, or pump, whatever you want to call it. Melt it back down, and there we go. Perfect. All right, and the last one here. Okay, there we go. All right, let's get this again. Melt it and pull. Oh, that didn't work. That was only partial. So I'm going to try and heat it again and pull it out. There we go. Looks like all the solder that we need to get out is gone. So let's see if we can get the replacement one to just sit in there. And it looks like it's good. Okay. So I'm going to hold this and push that piece in. All right. And then let's take the thing out of here and solder this. Okay, give me a second. I'll be back. Let's move this stuff out of the way. All right, I'm back. Let me take a closer look at this. It looks like it should be good. And the solder is going to need to be applied from the opposite side. Okay, so basically we hold this up and then put solder in from this side. I could also use that cardboard box again, and hopefully it will be, let's see. And nope, doesn't quite push down on it, so I'm probably gonna have to hold it by hand. What I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna kind of heat that area of each one first and see if it will kind of move a little bit more. Okay, looks like it's good. If my head gets in the way, I'm sorry, or if the cable. Ooh, that got hot real fast. Okay, and then push this. Okay, so that should have heated any residual solder and has probably already secured it for the most part, kind of. All right, so what I'm gonna do, because I find it easier, is I use some solder paste. So this has like bits of solder in it, and I'm just gonna put that where I need it, and then we're gonna heat that up and it should flow into place. Okay, so I'll do that. Then we're going to melt this. It should flow into place where we need it. And then once we got it more secured, I can use the regular solder to do that. Okay, so we're gonna get this. Go. Okay, and we got the last two. And then the last one. All right, so there we go. now let's go ahead and add the flux or the solder the normal way. So, oh man, it's hard to do it at this weird angle. I'm gonna have to rotate this and hopefully have enough room on my desk. Okay, I think that's gonna work. Okay, so I'm gonna heat this and then we're gonna apply the solder to it. Yeah, this is a weird angle. Like normally my head would be over the top, so that's gonna be difficult, but I'll do what I can. Okay, that should be good. I'll double check close up. Looks good. Looks good. Okay. Next one. Sorry about the awkward angles. Okay. There we go. Let's double check this one. Looks good. Actually, the solder paste stuff went through the other side, so I might have to heat it from that side just to be safe because it doesn't look like it all melted. Oops, sorry. Uh-oh. There we go. Perfect. Okay, now we got the two front ones here. Alright. I need like a wireless soldering iron to make this easier. Oh, this is tough. Get in there. Go. Perfect. All right, and the last one. There's not much room here to work on it. There we go. The whole thing. Okay, let's take a look on from the other side, make sure it's okay. All right, oops, you can see here, there's the 4. And on the other side, you can see, I'm gonna have to heat this as well because it looks like there's still some of the solder paste. So let's just heat it from the other side. Alright, and then same thing with this side. Okay, there we go. So we're good with that. I'm going to clean up the soldering iron and I'm going to tin the tip again just so it stays good in good condition for longer. Okay. So basically I turned off this soldering iron and then I'm coating it with solder, but there we go. Okay, so that's pretty much done. We are going to have to clean this up a little bit with some isopropyl alcohol. Okay, so we'll put away the soldering stuff and then I'll be back. See you guys in a bit again. All right, I'm back. Let's go ahead and clean this thing up. So we just got some paper towel here and we're going to use some isopropyl rubbing alcohol and just clean all around the soldering area. Okay, all right, so we'll clean that up. Get rid of that brown stuff there, the excess flux. All right. All right. So you can see that it's all nice and clean now. We're going to do the other side as well, obviously. Okay, clean that off. Hopefully the only issue was the charge port, because if it was something else, then I'm not too sure. But definitely the charge port was bad. But sometimes when the charge port breaks, it also shorts out and damages other components. So if that's the case, I won't be able to fix this one. It would be like a motherboard needs to be replaced, or somebody that knows how to kind of diagnose these boards better to repair it. Okay, so it's probably the best we can get it. There you go. This plastic thing melted a little bit, so not really much we can do about that, but there we go. It looks much better now. Okay, so let's go ahead and reassemble this thing and then test it out. Hopefully everything's good. All right, let me get the, I didn't put away the soldering iron, so let me do that real quick and I'll be back. All right, back, sorry about that. All right, let's go ahead and get this back into place. Let's zoom out here. All right, and we're just going to reassemble this thing. So again, we are going to have to redo the thermal paste. Actually, I should probably clean that up first before I get that back together. So we got all this, we're gonna have to scrape that out, clean it up. So what I'm going to do here, let's zoom in. Oops, I didn't turn off the charging. It's probably all staticky. All right, so we're gonna carefully get this stuff out. You wanna be careful because there are little raised components there. Okay, so we are just gonna kind of scrape this a little bit here. Okay. If you didn't already know, again, you want to make sure to keep yourself grounded. So when you're touching these components, you're not going to release static into it and destroy it. Okay, go. Scrape this stuff off. Okay. I'm going to have to turn this upside down and over a trash can to get this stuff out. And then I'm going to use a toothbrush to clean up any excess remaining, and then we're going to use rubbing alcohol to get that out. We're going to do the same thing with the heatsink here. Okay, so let me set this aside for now and we'll get the heatsink here. So same thing, you want to scrape off the excess here. You can do this however you want. You can use paper towels or something, and then we're going to use paper towels with isopropyl alcohol to clean off the excess. All right, just like this. All right, there we go. So we got all of that. Let me go dump this stuff out into the trash can and I'll be back. See you guys in a bit. All right, so here it is after cleaning it up with a toothbrush. All right, here's the heatsink. Again, now we're gonna use some paper towel and isopropyl alcohol to finish cleaning it up. Okay, just gonna get a piece, fold it up like that. This is 91%, all right, but 70% should be fine as well. Just pour some on there. And we're just gonna wipe the top off. Okay, and dry it. All right, same with the CPU. You wanna be careful when cleaning this here, the GPU, because of the raised little components. You don't want to accidentally like rip those things off. Okay, so be very gentle when doing that if it wasn't evident from when I was cleaning it. Okay, now we got the heatsink. We're going to clean that as well. Okay, turn this around here. Okay, so let's clean that up. Perfect, and clean this up. All right, we're gonna fold this over to a clean side, and then we're gonna clean that up some more. Okay, clean this up some more, and then dry it off. All right, there we go. Okay, so next thing we gotta do is put the motherboard back in, and then put the heatsink and everything as well. Okay, so let's grab the computer here. Zoom back out. Oops. Oh, okay. And this thing, again, it has to go in at an angle. So we got to put this diagonal here, and it's gonna get these in first. All right, so we'll get that over. Make sure all these cables end up back on top. You can pull them out after you get the thing in place, but it might be a little bit harder that way, so it's best to try and do it right away. Okay, get this in at an angle, lower it down. Okay, make sure to pull out the keyboard backlight and keyboard cables. Okay, continue slowly lowering this down. And get this out of the way, get that out of the way. All right, so we got that. Make sure it's all lined up, looks good. Okay, so hopefully everything is good and lined up, because once we put the thing down, we don't want to take the heatsink back out. So looks like this might not be lined up quite right. So I don't know if I can push it over more or what. Maybe I have to lift it up and go in at an angle some more. So let's try and lift this again. Oh, actually it has that little mounting point, so it should be right. Okay, but anyways, we'll do that again one more time. Pull this cable out. Okay, slowly lower it. And this one's not lining back up this time. The first time it lined up right. There we go. Okay, so now we got that in, and these. Alright, so what do we got next? It looks like it should be good. I'm going to try plugging a USB-C device just to be safe, and it looks like it works. And let's also try their charger. Their charger's like destroyed. Hopefully it still works. But let's see, plug that in. Oh yeah, that's not going to work right, is it? Is it not lined up right? Oh, there we go. Okay, it works. So the screw might need to go in first to pull this back down. Okay, so we're gonna do the thermal paste now. Okay, so these actually don't require much thermal paste. This one uses about the size of rice, and then this one basically the same amount but in a circle or in a sphere. Right, so we're gonna go ahead and get this and just draw it across like that. Okay. Alright, just like this. And you want to leave it in a mound so that way when you smush it down, it pushes all the air out. Okay. Then we got this one. Again, we're gonna put a dot in the center. And just like that. Okay, you don't need a crazy amount, because this stuff gets spread out super thin. Okay, and yeah. Okay, so there we go. All right, so that's all lined up right. Let's go ahead now and get the heatsink back in. So we'll zoom out here. Okay, so the heatsink goes in first. We do have to line this up, and then we will get all the screws and everything in place. So I believe these cables all went underneath. So we're gonna carefully route guide this here, under here. Okay, slowly wiggle it, get that in place, and there we go. Okay, it might make sense to actually screw down the motherboard so it doesn't wiggle at all. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's get this screw back in over here. Okay, that way it holds it down and doesn't move around. Okay, then we got this one here. Get those two screws in. That one and this one. Okay, and this one. Alright, and we got the one that was under these cables. And we got the one all the way up here. I hope that's right. Pretty sure. Alright. And we got the one down here. Alright, I think fan, what was that? There and there? Okay. So I think this one goes down here. I hope that's right. I don't see an arrow here, so I'm a little bit worried to put this here. I'm gonna loosely fit it. Yeah, no, I don't think that goes there. It doesn't feel right. So I'm not gonna screw that in all the way. What am I missing? Did I put one wrong somewhere? I don't think there was a hidden screw underneath the heatsink. Let's get the other pieces back in. Let's get this one. And hopefully I'll figure it out once I get it all back into place. Okay. And make sure the cable is on top. Alright, get that one in. And this one in. Okay, then the metal bracket. Drop that into place. This one in. This one as well. I just loosely fit it first to make sure both go in. Okay, tighten that down. Alright, we'll get this cable back in. Alright, slide the latch down. Okay. What am I missing? What is that long screw? Let's get all these cables back in. Keyboard cable. Latch that down. Keyboard backlight. I'm missing something. Did I put one of the screws in wrong? I don't think so. Okay. Slip all these latches up and get these cables back in. Latch that down. This up. Get that in. Latch that down. Make sure that's up. There we go. Right. Then we can go ahead and get the fans. We'll get this fan in. Okay. Line that up. Get this screw. I have one, something is not right here. Did I switch something around? I don't know. Get this one in. I might need to rewatch my video to make sure. That's another benefit to making these videos. Alright, we'll get this cable back in, route it around here. Okay. Get this in, slowly pull that in, use the wings, pinch that in together. And there we go. Then we got the fan connector here. Get that back in, pinch that in. Right, the other fan here. Light that up, get that in. Let me get that little hair out. Okay, get this screw in. Alright, get the fan connector lined up and in. Alright, get the speaker cable back in. It's supposed to go that way. this one, I think you have the metal pins actually facing up, right? Or did I flip it? Let me see here. Oh, I flipped it. Okay. So this one, you actually want it so this way. They actually put a black dot so you can see. Okay, it goes like that. So you don't want the metal pins facing up. Here we go. Then we got the wireless antennas. We'll get those in. What did I miss here? I'm missing something. Okay, get those in. All right, wireless card. We'll get this back in. Get this screw. Maybe I mixed up one of the screws, I don't know. Okay, get that in. Alright, we got antenna number 1 here. This one goes to the white one. Line that up. You'll know it's lined up because if you get it latched on, it will kind of stay hooked in place while you're holding it. And then antenna number 2 up here. There we go. And then click that in. Alright. Now we got this little ribbon cable. Get that back in. Good. Latch that down. And then we got this ribbon cable. And get that and latch that down. Okay. So what is going on? What did I mix up here? Is this screw supposed to be here? Is there supposed to be a screw here? That also doesn't feel right. I don't know what's going on. There's this extra screw that I'm not sure where it came from. Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch my video and see. All right, we're gonna put the shorter one here for now. And then there's no arrow for this, so I don't know. It's kind of weird. All right, SSD, get that back in. Line that up. Good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch my video and then find out where that came from. All right, let's get the heatsink screws in. They are labeled, so we got number 1 here, up here. I'm gonna twist it till I hear a click and then go 1, 2. All right, then we got screw number 2 here. I'm gonna twist it till I hear a click, 1, 2. All right, then we got number 3 over here. Same thing, twist it, click, 1, 2. Then screw number 4 here. Twist it, click, 1, 2. All right, then we got screw number 5 down here. Click, 1, 2. Screw number 6 also down here. Click, 1, 2. And the last screw up here, number 7, click, 1, 2. All right, then we're gonna go again here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're just gonna tighten it all the way down, 2, and then tighten that till it's all the way tight. Then number 3, tighten that till it's all the way tight. Number 4 over here, tighten that till it's all the way tight. Number 5, tighten that. Okay, number 6, tighten that, and number 7, tighten that. All right, I don't know what that screw is. It really from here? It's kind of weird. All right, all that's left is the battery and then to plug it in. So I'm gonna put the battery in first. This does have little feet that kind of hook down here a little bit. Oops, sorry. It has little feet that kind of hook down here. So you want to line that up first there. Make sure it goes into the slot. You do have to kind of raise it up a little bit to go into the slot and then get that lined up and push that down. You can also squeeze that in to push the thing further up that way. And let's go ahead and get these screws in. I'm going to have to rewatch my video and find out where that long screw came from. My guess is this hole because nothing else is there. Or maybe I switched 2 of them around. So we'll see. Maybe I didn't lay it out right on my desk. Okay, so we got all of that. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and plug their charger in. Hopefully their charger is working because it does look a little damaged, or a lot damaged. And let's see what happens. All right, plug that in, and let's plug the charger in right here. And I do see the charge light is on. You can see it's orange. So hopefully that's good. This battery also acts as the BIOS CMOS RTC real-time clock battery. So the BIOS is going to be reset. When we turn it on, it's going to take a while. So let's power it on. I see the power button light is lit up. Why isn't it focusing? There we go. Give it some time, because usually once the BIOS is reset, it's going to power cycle several times before it actually will come on. All right, so I'm going to flip this around this way for now. And let's see. Hopefully there's no other weird issues with their computer. Did it turn itself off? The charge light's still on. The power light did shut itself off now. So we're gonna wait. I hear the fan spinning up again. Give it a bit longer. Power light is on still. And usually once it starts up, it's going to say the BIOS or CMOS was reset. So hopefully there's no other weird hardware issues with this computer. The fan stopped spinning again. It might reset one more time. I hope it's not some other bad components. Come on. It's taking a long time. Usually it shouldn't take this long, so I'm a little bit worried now. Oh, there we go. Okay, CMOS reset. There you go. Come on, focus. There you go. CMOS reset. Enter to reboot the system. So just press enter and it should start up okay. I just need to find out where that screw came from, because I don't want to force it down in the wrong spot, because it's a bit longer than the other ones. And like I said, if you put the wrong screw in the wrong place, you can actually damage your computer. So we don't want a extra long screw punching through. So you can see it's starting up, and we should be good to go. All right, there you go. So right now, actually, this thing is not showing anything, so I'm a little worried. Unplugging this, nothing. And their charger, I mean, it does show it lights up. Like the charger plug lights up, but it's white. It should be orange when it's charging. So maybe their charger is broken as well, because it looks pretty bad. Like, look at this thing. Okay, anyways, that's pretty much all there is to it, other than that screw that I'm a little confused on. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, that other screw is hidden underneath this battery now. So I'm gonna make sure to shut down the computer real quick, and then we'll take it from there. So give me a second. Let me shut this thing down. Okay, it should be shutting down. The fans will stop when it's done. And then I need to figure out where that screw came from. I think it really is from here, but I don't know. It's a little bit long, I feel. Did I switch the wireless card one? Wireless card screw is shorter, and it fits here just fine. Okay, let's try this longer screw in the wireless card slot. Yeah, I think I mixed those up, because, oh, actually, I don't know. It feels like it's pushing on something. So I don't know. I don't want to force this screw in there. It would actually be safer to not even put it back, but I'm going to check my video and see if I can figure it out from that, and then we will go from there. Okay, let's take a look here. Yeah, okay, give me a second. I'm going to check my video real quick, and I'll be back. See you guys in a bit. All right, so it looks like it really did come from there, so let's go ahead and put that back. All right. There we go. Okay. And then we just got to get the bottom cover on and get the screws in, and we should be good to go. All right, so we'll get this back down, click all of this back into place, and make sure to get that middle screw as well, or not the screw, the clip. Okay, push this all down. Okay. All right, and then we just gotta get all the screws in, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, please make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. If you can't help that way, it'd be very helpful if you could watch a few of my other videos and like and comment on them, because the YouTube algorithm likes to see that. And yeah, also if you like my review videos and travel and other type of videos, I have a separate channel that I'm slowly going to be putting all those videos separately. Right now I'm kind of double uploading, but eventually they'll all just be on their own channel. And yeah, so if you're looking for that, it's called It's Been Reviewed and More. So hopefully you guys can find that channel. And yeah, let's get these last few screws in, and we should be good to go. One other thing, because there's that bend or that dent here, that's another reason why when we plug this in we have to do it at a weird angle. Like it has to go diagonal down, and there we go. You can